Hello, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so very much for having me.
How are you doing? How are you holding up?
I'm doing okay. We're coming up on a kind of a hard anniversary, but I've kind of been so busy that I haven't had time to be sad or morose. And we're doing something kind of great, so it's good. I'm excited, which is a weird feeling to have at a moment like this.
Mm-hmm. You're here in Ottawa to launch the Matthew Perry Foundation of Canada.
That's right.
Tell me about that and what it means. You've said in the past, it's sort of like a love letter to your brother. What did you mean by that?
That's a very good question. For me, I think there was a part of me that wanted to stay as close to him as I could. I was also extraordinarily proud of him. I was always proud of him because he was a fantastic human being and funny and charming and famous, as he rightly pointed out. But when he was willing to take this piece of himself that was so difficult to talk about and be out there with it, because he knew that it might make people brave enough to ask for help. I think that was the proudest I ever was of him.
And why did you choose Ottawa for the launch?
Well, he's an Ottawa kid. It absolutely made sense to choose Ottawa for the launch.
Do you have memories of him here in the city?
I have scattered memories of him here in the city. I was a very young person because I'm much, much, much younger than he.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, I mean, remembering that I'm very young.
Of course.
But a lot of the memories that I have are just of, sweet moments together. I have two kids whose age gap is similar actually to my age gap with Matthew. So whenever I watch my daughter, who's 3, having a complete laughing fit over something that my son is doing, I feel brought back to that moment. I sort of feel like I'm in Ottawa watching like an old video of us, and it's very nice.
Can you tell us a little bit about the approach and what the foundation aims to do? I understand it is meant to sort of help people through post-recovery.
Yeah, yeah.
Or post-treatment, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't come up with this idea on our own because we're not smart enough to do that. But we talked to people who have been working in this field for years and years and years and have doctor in front of their name. And we talked to them about what people who live with this in Canada, what they need. And they told us again and again, and by them I mean, everybody we spoke to independently told us about the fact that it's wonderful in Canada that there's generally an ability to access treatment, but that the period of 1 to sometimes up to 3 years of early sobriety is very tenuous. It's a time when your brain is trying to recover, but it hasn't recovered yet. It's a time where your brain keeps telling you, you gotta go get that thing that makes me feel okay. And they're left very much on their own after treatment. There are housing struggles and job struggles and mental health struggles and old trauma. And those are the things that we are hoping to help people with during that tenuous time. We want to help them with housing, we want to help them with careers, we want to help get them professional mental health treatment and peer support mental health treatment. And we want to do all of that so that they have the ability to focus on that recovery journey, to make that the center point of their life, and not worry that if they do that, they might not have a roof over their head tomorrow. They might not be able to buy groceries tomorrow. And we hope that that is an approach that will give people that sort of strength and autonomy to fight the toughest battle of their lives.
Yeah, kind of a wraparound approach.
A wraparound approach.
And the hope is obviously that it has a lasting impact.
That is indeed the hope.
How will you measure success?
That's a great question. I think there are a few different ways. One is we'll measure success in the number of people that we're able to help along the way. I also think we can measure it in the way that people feel about talking about this. A lot of people have come to me since we started this foundation, built the website, to talk about the things that have happened in their own families, to say, I lost someone too, and it was devastating, and I never feel like I can talk about it. And I think that if people start to talk about it, there will be a realization that every single person who is impacted by this is important. Every single person deserves our support in whatever way we can give them their support, because we're rebuilding families, we're rebuilding communities, and you know, taking the ugly thoughts out of it and just looking at these are people whose lives are important.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so very much for having me.